Right, today's job is indicators. This bike didn't come with any indicators or indicator brackets, so a friend of mine gave me these indicators. They're for motorbikes, but they were 12 volt operation, so I've had to rewire all the LEDs to give 6 volt operation, which was a hell of a tricky job, but I managed it. There's 12 LEDs in there, and when they were 12 volt operation, there was 2 sets of 6 LEDs in series because they need about 2 volts each. So what I've done is I put 3 sets of 3 in series, and then all the sets of 3 in parallel, and then now they run off 6 volts. So I've done that, but now I think I've actually ordered some for the front, but they won't come in for a week or so. So I was going to concentrate on fixing these rear ones on. And I'll cut these bits of metal. I've got to weld those on there somehow and make them nicely tapered and painted, and so that it kind of looks neat. One on each side, obviously, so I'll press on with that for now. So I've made these brackets up. They come out quite nice and neat. So now I've got to weld them on. Roughly there. Actually, that way around. So now I've got to take this rack and tank off. This tank assembly off again, to get it on the bench to weld it. So I think I'm ready to weld these brackets on now. It means holding it by hand, which isn't very good. Hold it level and square, and make sure it matches the rear light, and should be able to do it. Too bad, I'm quite happy with that. So, carry on with the welding now. So, that's one welded on. So, let's do the other one now. I've got a few more things done now. The battery that I ordered came in, and I put that's in there. And of course it's a bit bigger than the old one. This is the old one, and the new one's, well, it's almost twice the size, so I had to modify the battery compartment slightly to get it in and reroute one of the cable forms. But that's gone in alright. And I've finished putting the indicators on. These are rear indicators I've modified from 12 volt ones and made them 6 volt operation. and the front indicators, I ordered and they came in. And what I was going to do is put this bar on the front there, and the indicators on the end. But I thought that was a bit too vulnerable. So what I did was I welded these little bits of the tube onto the handlebars to mount the indicators on. And it's a little bit risky because there's a lot of wires that go inside the handlebar, and I had to be very careful when I was welding and use my swapping technique to avoid being red hot for too long. There's a video I made, it's modifying what is it, the survival knife, Smith & Wesson survival knife that I modified. I made a video about, and that swabbing technique is on that if you want to look at it. Anyway, I think it should be alright, and they're quite well protected there. So I think now we're actually ready for a cold start attempt. I've got petrol in it, and I think I've cured the leaking carburetor problem. So if we turn the petrol on, I've actually got premix in there at the moment. It's got a separate oil compartment in the tank for oil and an injection pump. But that's a bit of an unknown quantity of injection pump at the moment. So I thought until I get that checked out, I'd run it on premix. So I've got that in there. So we have to wind it up. I have no idea what's going to happen. Wind it up. I think we'll pull the choke out slightly, switch the ignition on. Just open the throttle. Surprised, I didn't think it would start first time. So I think we might even be able to go for a test drive. That'd be really good. Anyway, I've ordered more bulbs, but they haven't come in yet. Most of the bulbs are blown, apart from the brake light and the full beam headlight. They're alright, but all the others are kind of blackened with age, and either blackened with age or blown. So I've got to wait for those to come in. So what I'm going to do now is just extend these wires from the rear indicators to go under the seat. So that's where I'll put the flasher unit. So I'll get on with that now. Right, we've got a slight problem with the front brake cable. This is the original cable, and it was practically seized solid when I got the bike. So what I had to do was cut the knob off the end, off of one end, pull the inner out, and then I cleaned the inner and lubricated it, and best as I could cleaned the outer of the cable out. And then I put the inner back in and welded a new knob on the end, but the problem is it's just slightly too short now, and I can't get the brake operating lever on the brake drum onto the spline that I want it to engage with. Because if I put it on so that it easily goes together, that lever almost touches the hub, which is going to stop the brake working. So that's a bit of a nuisance. I've kind of I can't. The problem is I can't engage these knobs on the ends of the cable with the two levers. And I'll try to. What I'm trying at the moment is to. I've taken the lever off. Now I've got to try and get that brake lever back on, and just see if hopefully there'll be another just slight bit of play to release the brake. Well, I think we've actually cracked it now. The secret is to put that on the right spline and engage the bottom of the cable, and then if you take the lever off of its pivot, you can just about get it onto the knob at the top of the cable, and then if you go like that into its normal position, that gives just enough movement for the brake to be free when it's on the right spline, to give it clearance away from the hub. So I think we're over that problem now. Well, I'll spend a day making the electronic flasher unit for the indicators. What I've done is I've based it on a 555 timer chip, and the output of the 555 timer chip is pin 3, but what I found is it won't quite supply enough current out of pin 3 to operate a relay directly. So what I've done is I've put an NPN transistor, used an NPN transistor to switch the current to the coil of the relay, and that works. So you probably hear the relay clicking. So we've got about 6.5 volts, 6.6 volts supply voltage, and you can see the current. It only takes, when it's switched on, it takes about 0.05 of an amp, kind of maximum, and that's the output of the relay on the oscilloscope. So that's going up and down about 6.5 volts. So I think that's the relay, that's the indicator flasher unit sold. I've just got to build it into the bike now. This is the finished indicator circuit board, and you can see it's working. It's flashing the front indicator, and there's a little pilot light on the kind of dashboard, and you can put it on the left indicator as well. Obviously I've got a problem with the back indicators because they're not bright enough at the moment. The LEDs aren't giving enough light out, so I've got to reconfigure them and fill them out with the resistance to get them brighter. But if that fails, I'll have to splash out some money and buy 2 more. Hopefully we'll avoid that. Anyway, the first time I tried this circuit board, it worked fine when the engine wasn't running. But when the engine was running, it destabilised the flasher circuit, or the chip. There was just a bit of a ripple on top of the voltage, which the chip didn't like. So what I did was I smoothed the voltage out that supplies the chip, and to do that I put little electrolytic capacitor, I think it's 100 microfarad, and then a diode to stop the capacitor feeding back into the rest of the bike. So the capacitor wasn't trying to smooth the whole electrical system. It's just smoothing the current to the chip, which the chip takes next to nothing. So it only takes a tiny capacitor. So now the engine, when you have the engine running, the indicators are stable. They give a regular flash. So that's that little bit done. So the indicators are working now, and the back ones are working. I have to fiddle with them to get them kind of bright enough. I didn't draw a circuit diagram to the indicator system because it's quite a lot of work, and I did it out of my head. But if you need a circuit diagram to see what I've actually done, including the smoothing capacitor and diode and things I had to add, just ask in the comments, and if 2 or 3 people ask, I'll make the effort to do a circuit diagram and explain it.